we need to stop asking who and we need to start asking why. So last year for the Grammys, I think it was Best R&B Album.
Was it 2023?
It was 2023.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Best R&B Album. And I can't remember everybody who was in the category, but I know Robert Glasper and Chris Brown were both in the category. Robert Glasper ended up winning. Mm-hmm. And Chris Brown's initial reaction to it, and no shade, I love Chris Brown. I think he is a very, very talented artist and someone who is deserving of his position based on talent, for sure. He's very talented. However, because of the conditioning of this world that we live in, his initial reaction in response to Robert Glasper winning was, who the fuck is Robert Glasper? And I'm and clear, you say he got like shirts and stuff, like Robert Glasper wears the shirts. That's kind of funny and kind of badass. But yeah, his initial question was like, who are you? And for me, it was a little triggering as someone who's an independent artist, because that's a question that I have to deal with often in me taking up space, because you're a musician's musician. I'm a singer. Like, we are loved and revered a lot by our peers and by people that we grew up listening to because they love the art, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we are our household names, because we're navigating this industry independently. So much like politics, we're only as exposed as our resources will allow us to be. And thankfully with social media, we're able to find creative ways to cut through with comedy, or like even this platform like our podcast. But when you're a mainstream artist or a mainstream political candidate, you have the funding, you have the machine behind you to give you that visibility to where no one's going to question why you're in the room and why you have a seat at the table. Yep. So when Chris asked, who is Robert Glasper, it's triggering, because it's like, well, for one, Robert Glasper is a very talented musician and artist and curator. He's very gifted. But to say, who are you, to me is implying you're not as known as me, so you do not deserve to have a seat at the table. And I think a mindset shift has got to happen, not just within our music industry, but of our political system as well, because it shouldn't just be who has the most visibility based on the money that's funding them. Because much like major labels in politics, they have super PACs. They have these businesses who are paying for the visibility of these politicians that make people see them as celebrities. And then they have these conventions, and it turns into like this Hunger Games-esque like party where we're all dressed up and we got the hats on and their heads all blown up like at a concert. Yep. So much parallels, but no one's going to question this person being in the room because they've paid for that visibility. Yeah. And that visibility has become more important than the gift or the intention, So yeah, I was triggered, because even, like I said, that's something that I've had to deal with and navigate too, is people asking who, and it's like, nah.
And Chris definitely should have asked why and went and listened to the album and then said something. If you don't like the music, that's a whole nother thing. Yep. So same with politics. Cornell West. Nobody knows. Everybody gonna be like, who?
But he's running, as far as today. We don't know when this is gonna air, but as of today, he is also a candidate who is running for president, and so is Rob
F. Kennedy, yeah.
Rob F. Kennedy Jr. And the conversation that I've constantly seen in my algorithm is, oh, well, it's Trump or it's Harris, or these are the lesser of two evils. And it's like, nah, these are just the two that you see who are in the major label equivalent of our political system, because they're Democrat and Republican. And it's become so binary that they're able to pump money into these two systems so that these are the only people that you see and that you look into. And it's like, let's not split the vote. If I hear that script one more time of like, don't waste your time or your energy, voting for independent. When is the last time independent has won?
Right.
Again, another triggering situation for me, because I'm an independent artist.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is we will always vote, because we don't think the independent will win, because they are not on the ballots in some states. We're going to get that type of vote every time, from the Grammys to the Oscars to the Emmys. All of them are going to. It's going to be the same thing. Well, I'm not going to vote for the independent. I'm just going to go with what I know, because I know they're more likely to win, and we don't want to split that vote up even more. But yeah, it has to go. I personally wish that in politics, everybody got the same amount of airtime. You should not have to pay for that. If we're really objectively trying to look at who's going to build the best policy, then we will not put people in these boxes where they're only judged by how popular they are. It's really doing us a disservice not to have all the options in front of our face. Like, there's people, millions and millions of people who don't even know that there's other candidates out there.
Yeah.
And same in music, same in film, all the things, theater.
Yeah, but that just boils down to getting money out of politics, and I don't know if that's ever gonna happen.